So 2022 is going to be an incredible year. I am not saying that it is going to be perfect or easy, but it is going to be a year of transformation. It is the one and only time we will have the numerology sequence that pretty much, other than the zero, is all the same numbers within the same time frame. So the only time in our lives we will have the 222 sequence. Every other time there will be another number somewhere in our frame. So this is like a once in a lifetime high vibrational master number. And when we come into the wording of master, I love the idea of the hero's journey. So when you're in the hero's journey, you're looking at the idea that there is a place where you start. So when you're walking into the energy of 2022, and I know it's a little bit before 2022, I'm recording this on 12/12/2021, we are really starting that portal of numeric sequence and the wheel of the year. And we have a natural cycling of the wheel of the year, which always starts for me at the winter equinox for the Northern Hemisphere. So that's 12/21/2021 at this point. And for me, this year will really start with that energy. And for me, this is the quieting time. So we are in that 12/12 to 12/21 sequence of the wheel of the year, where it is very dark at night and it is getting closer and closer to the longest night of the year, 2021 into 2022. 12/22 will be the very shortest daytime hours in the Northern Hemisphere. It's exactly opposite, of course, in the Southern Hemispheres. And so that's a different story, but we're talking Northern Hemisphere at this time. And so that winter solstice or winter equinox, whichever way you want to call it, this time of year where literally it is the longest night and shortest day, is a time to go inward. It is a time to journey into our darkest shadow. And in that shadow strand of ourselves, in the wheel of the year, is where we look for what is it that we're ready to transform. It's like going into the womb. It is like going into a rebirth cycle. And it's a review. It's a reuniting of oneself to self. It is actually a understanding of thyself as child. And so when we recognize ourselves as divine child, we come out in an energy of exploration. So I want you to take this equinox. I'm sorry, I keep calling it an equinox. Take this solstice and think about, how do you want to rebirth your divine child? So as the hero's journey, we start as a child. We start as a page. We take all of our lessons from past lives, and in this case, from our lifetime before now. So if you think of every day of existence up until now as being part of your past version of you, all of us want to master something. And 2022 being a master year, think of this as the beginning of the leg of what it is that you want to master. And so really setting a clear goal, a clear intention, and we're going to be at the full moon on the 19th of December. So we have closed this eclipse. We just had a Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse. We've closed that chapter. of eclipses, and we are opening up to this full moon, which is really bright, illuminating energy. So we're shining light on the darkness. We're shining light on our cosmic child. So as we are opening up to who we are, like really, really getting recognition of who we are, where we've been, and where we're going. So at this point, I really want you to set some kind of intention, some kind of goal as an overarching theme. I know a lot of people like to use a word of the year, and I have chosen the word love for my word for the year. And I'll choose some additional themes, but I've got this beautiful candle lit here for love. And in that, the theme of 22 to me, or 222, is one of unification. So for me, the two, and the two is one of understanding that as above, so below, so within. And as we go into this, I want you to understand that you, as divine child, are in this hero's journey, coming through the year, coming through the wheel of the year, starting at the darkest night and awakening to a version of a birthing of this ascension process. We are deep in the 5D transformation out of the 3D and into the 5D, into the enlightenment, into the hopeful phase. And with childlike wonder, I want you to look at it from a new perspective, because all things are true. There is chaos in the world, and yet light destabilizes darkness. So anytime you shine light into darkness, it destabilizes the darkness. So it's the same. Anytime you illuminate something, you are destabilizing your own shadow. So as we go into this dark period of the time, we destabilize our own shadows for the potential to growth. We never want to change something by doing it the same way. So if you are making bold manifestations, as I know you are, if you're watching this, I want you to think about how you're ready to destabilize your own shadow, how you're ready to shine light and illuminate, and to go into this with an energy of divine child. So we have the calendar year that overlaps the wheel of the year, and the wheel of the year is more following this solstice equinox time frame. So you have the winter solstice or the summer solstice, and it's exactly swapped depending on which hemisphere they're in. So the longest day and the shortest night would be happening in the southern half of the world. But in this northern half, we have that long night. And so as the sun starts every single day from there, illuminating the sky just a little bit more every single day, I want you to start thinking about illuminating to yourself just a little bit more. We come into the first of the calendar year, January 1st, 2022, and it is the dark moon. So the moon will be all but gone from the sky at that time. And we have a lot of energy of starting that new year in a time of darkness. And yet, for me, this is a very exciting piece of information. And I want you to think about that as starting it from a place of perfect trust and perfect new beginnings. So, what is it this time of year you are ready to let go of, burn down, release, cleanse, clear, and let go of? Are you rearranging something? Are you letting something go? What toxic environments, what toxic experiences, what toxic habits would need to be removed from that divine child as you're moving into the hero's journey of new beginnings? So we hit that really powerful master number of starting the year with a 1. So 1 is a 2, and then you have 2022. So it's going to be an 8. It'll be a 6-year, but it will be an 8-day. Number 8 will be the number that we start out 2022. And so you have the energy of 8, which is infinite abundance, infinite opportunity. So as we go into 2022, I don't want you to call it your year, because this is not astrologically the easiest year you're ever going to see. But I do want you to claim it as your energetic year of mastering, and your energetic year of transformation, and your infinite year of endless possibilities. And I want you to go into this year with the understanding that this is all things possible. So you have the 6 as an overarching number for the year, 6 being the number of partnership. It is great for all relationships. It is good for friends and family and home. So as you're going into this year, think about, how do you want your home? Your home, which is your physical vessel and your temple, your home, which is your emotions and your outlook. What is it that you are doing as you come into this brand new, shiny, new opportunity? Look at it as an opportunity. If you look at it as, oh, it's another year or anything like that, you're going to sabotage yourself. But if you say, what do I want to feel like as I master this year, as I master myself, as I become the hero in my own story? And I want you to declare it. Anytime we're working on manifestation, I love the situation where you would write it into being. You would speak it into being as a declaration or a command. You might even burn the manifestation by letting it go into fire. And then you want to visualize it. So maybe a vision board, picture board. And then lastly, you want to feel it, know it, see it, feel it, taste it in your senses as a visualization. So you're really setting this new version of you into an energetic heart cohesion. Now, as we're following the astrology of 2022, we are seeing that there are some really intense times. We'll see the 2nd of January, 2022 being a new moon. So that's when I would activate these goals. I would start with a new regime. I would start with new intentions. Now, we have a really key pivotal moment, because our 2nd new moon in the new year is going to be like a blue new moon. There'll be 2 new moons in January. So that is a really actual powerful time so you'll have this little fresh start in January, and then you're going to have a 2nd Chinese New Year as we move into the energy of the tiger in 2022. We have, I think it's a water tiger, but I need to check on that. And so we're moving into that first piece of the year. So if you want the most momentum in 2022, I would get it done early in the year. You are going to have this new moon and then this 2nd new moon in January to really get things done while there is the least amount of retrogrades and eclipses going on. You're going to have Taurus move out of retrograde. Uranus has been in retrograde in Taurus for a while, and so it's going to move out of that toward the end of January. And so that 2nd new moon is going to be like fast forwarding your energy. So as you're planning the wheel of this year, in bulk, or some people call it Candlemas, is February 2nd every year. And so this year we have like that really crazy, awesome, amazing numerology of February 2nd, 2022. So we're going to have these portal days in February that are going to be really one of a kind. The whole month of February, everything will start with O2, and then you'll have the month number, the date of that number, and then 2022. So you're always going to have the energy of 8 coinciding with every additional day. But that one day, the first, you'll have the first, and then you'll move into the 2nd of February. That's a real key for activation, planetary alignment, unification. So we come into actually add all those twos up, and you have a one day. And so that one, that energy of one, is going to be the unification energy that I'm talking about. Are you unified with your mission? Are you unified with your purpose? Are you balanced in your masculine and your feminine? And we want that. We want every man to feel balanced in their feminine. We want every woman to feel balanced in their masculine. We want to be healing the wounded feminine and healing the wounded masculine. So in any area of your life, this is what is going to be a counterbalance throughout the whole year, because it is ruled by the theme of 2. In so many ways, the mastery is like a scale. You never want to be out of balance in anything. You want to be really, really balanced in every area of your life. And so this day and this particular month of February is super key. It's like unlocking the key to your own potential. Now, it could feel discomforting because we all want to stay exactly the same, make no changes, and have a different outcome. And that's not the way it works. So we're going to be taking that child and learning its life lessons. So here we're moving into a child moving from the wonder into the actual learner stage. So it's an incredible time of initiation on the planet as more people are awakening, as more people are taking the message of teacher as well as student. So it's interesting. I really feel like the month of February will be the month of teacher student. So you will be teaching and you will be learning at the same time. So wherever you are, be really, really clear in February who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they uplifting you? And so you want at least a certain percentage of the people in your life to be uplifting, activating you, and calling you forward. So you want mentors, lessons, things that are in the field above you, outside of you, like goals, people who inspire you. So you want inspiration, things that you're learning, things that you're growing toward in your field. Then there's the place of being, so that's where you're the students. Then there's the place where you are recognizing that there are people in your life that are not at the same rate you are. And rather than getting into the collective consciousness of lowering your vibration to be with those people in life, I want you to hold your light. 2022 is about holding your own light and activating light within this planet, within your own body, within your own stratosphere. So you're holding it. You're not, you're raising your vibration, but you are not dropping your vibration no matter who comes into your field. Instead, you're inspiring. As a teacher, you inspire. You don't drop down, you inspire. You help others raise to the level where you have been. You only even have to be one step or one level above someone to teach, to share. And sometimes you'll have someone in partnership where they're ahead in one area and you're ahead in one area, and you're inspiring them in one place and they're inspiring you in another. And so those are really good teacher-student relationships right now. Where can you learn from someone? where can you teach another person? Sometimes they're going to be even give and take, and sometimes they're not. So don't feel like you have to be in full balance, in that sometimes you want to just be gifting to the universe. You want to share your gifts as often as possible. Share your inspiration, share your knowledge, but remember you're the lighthouse and you are not necessarily pushing them from below. You are actually raising them as an inspiration. And so then you also want to have people that are peers, people who are in the trenches with you growing. So you're going to have those three kinds of people, but make sure that they're in balance and it's not all about servitude. It's not all about teaching, or it's not all about learning. You really will learn the most from teaching and sharing. So I like to be with peer group and above as often as possible. You want to really inspire yourself, inspire others, move forward, and you want to really hold that vibration. And when you see that you're out of alignment, you want to return to alignment. So that's going to be key in those special days in February. So you have 2020, so it's 2/20 2022. You have 2/22 2022. So that will be the key accumulation of that really master crazy awesome energy. And it could be a little bit destabilizing, because we are hitting the chaos with the light. So it could feel like a lot of things are going on around you. You want to hold your vibration, and you want to be like, all right, I don't feel good. I want to choose to feel good. And what would I need to do for self-care? And what would I need to do to return myself to my own divine nature? So then as we move into the next part of the wheel of the year, we have March. And in March, we have the 3/3 portal, which is interesting because if you think of that as a 6 year from 2022, you've got the 3/3 and you've got the 6. So it's actually on 3/3, you'll have 6/6. In fact, I'll be on a cruise to Mexico. I'll be doing some speaking on that cruise, and Spirit Heart Cruises, if anybody's interested in being with a whole bunch of spiritually activated people during that energetic portal, let me know. But in the meantime, think about that day as holding the vibration of 6/6, which is the Merkaba. You're talking about the energy of true divine balance, or the energy of 12, the 12-strand DNA activating the Merkaba, which is internal light and internal memory of who you really are. So I see the theme of March is returning to who you've always meant to be. So we come into the equinox, which is balance. It is the same in both hemispheres of the planet, whether you're spring equinox or fall equinox. On that 21st day of March, you have the same amount of day and the same amount of night. So that is really key for that theme. The first quarter of the year is all about finding balance and equilibrium and returning to yourself. So this is the most expansive part of 2022. So that first 3 months will be the momentum that you want to try and see on your divine journey. You may feel as you're coming into April more like you're in an energy of initiation, because we start the next eclipse cycle. So in the month of April, we have a deep, we start seeing more retrogrades. We start seeing the Taurus eclipse cycle hitting. I think it's April 29th or 30th, somewhere along there. You have a solar eclipse in Taurus. And so you're going to see the themes of needing to activate your home, needing to activate anything that is Venus themed. your home, your money, your health, anything that you would think is of as ruled by the goddess Venus or the planet Venus is going to be activated as a solar eclipse right on the portal, which we call Beltane or May Day. So as you're coming into that wheel of the year, that is always about fertilization, planting, bringing in new ideas, new concepts, new energy. And we really started planning in January, February, but here we're fertilizing the ground, we're fertilizing the soil, we're into high growth season. What are you bringing in? What is your true desire? What is your true purpose? The light is going to be really strong. The light codes are going to be coming in heavy and hard. And this is where you're going to start making key changes that you've been called to make. And it may feel a little uncomfortable. Eclipse season is always just a little bit uncomfortable because it pushes us. And so that push moves us into the full activation of the Scorpio eclipses as we have a Scorpio lunar eclipse there in May. So lots of things going on with, you're going to have a lot of, I would say that we should all look for change. The planetary collective is looking to upgrade. And so again, we come from destabilization into the energy of Taurus, which is about stabilization, is about how do we create a new foundation? How do we build a new reality? And that's what I think you're going to be doing. So building a new reality, maintaining your Zen as we go into one of the most key portal months of the year, February being the most important, but probably in my eyes, the second most important month of the year would be June. So in June, you're looking at the 6-6. And if you add up 222, that is a 6. So you have a 666 activation. And it has been so many times seen as a bad number, the 666 as a number of the devil. But really, it is a number about owning your own divine self. But the conscious collective has never wanted us to feel oneness. So we have been activated in feeling separate. The law of illusion has us feeling separate. And so on June 6th, 2022, which is a 666 portal, we are activating the unification of the whole of humanity. We are starting to move out of the realm of separateness and into the energy of oneness. You are going to see, and I will put into my predictions, you will see a major transformation on planet Earth. You're going to see people waking up that you never thought were waking up. You're going to see things happening that were once thought impossible. So I truly believe as we master 2022, we will see a cosmic and collective shift in awareness by that end of June. And in the wheel of the year, we have that second solstice. We have summer solstice, the longest day of the year and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere, opposite in the southern hemisphere. But in that moment, I think by the time you hit the end of June, you're going to see that we have shed light on something magnificent. Maybe a little weird, maybe a little uncomfortable, but I think you can really start planning for your shifts over the summer. So that's kind of the first half of the year as I see it at this point. So as we move from that energy of the summer solstice into July and August, we do have a lot of retrogrades this summer. So what I would be doing is, it's almost a counter, um, it's almost like counter. A lot of times when we're in high growth season, we want to be doing. And at that midpoint of the summer in July and August, you might find that you're having to redo. So this is where, in the year, when I look at the year of 2022, I would plan on anything you've ever wanted to redo. So let's say you want a redo on something, like you want to remodel, you want to, you've had a program, but you want to give it a new facelift. It is, if you've got a website, but you want to really clean it up, even for yourself. So my intuitive channel piece of information for August, July and August is clean up your programs, clean up your mental. It's a great time to like literally take classes, which I know a lot of us are off in the summer and we think of it as free, but I really believe you will feel more free as you go into the fall, as you go into that almost like time frame that we think of as the beginning of school. So summer school. And so I teasingly am calling it psychic summer school. What do you have to do on an etheric plane as an internal dialogue this summer to reteach yourself a new way? So my true channeled message for, and let's go toward that August 1st, which is the Egyptian time frame for its new year, and the Celts call it Lunasa. There's a lot of different harvest holidays. What have you harvested? And so, and that journey of the fool or the hero's journey, what have you learned, and how do we make it into mastery? So 22 is a master builder. So we would take a reflection here at that that July, which is like halfway, July 1st is like halfway. What is it you need to look at to be a master? So at this point, going deeper on anything you want to master, getting really clear on anything you need to remaster, which, in music, you would like take a piece of music and you would create a new version that's modern and more updated. So it's like, how do I become the most updated master facilitator of my own divine self? And so that August 1st harvest holiday is where you see how far, it's like a personal intuitive check-in. How far have I come, and how far am I ready to go before the end of this year? What do I want to master? How do I want to master it? How do I want to get there? So you kind of take a look at how far you've come and how far you have to go, and get a new redirect. If you've ever had like I like to think of it as when you have a GPS and it says recalculating, like you kind of went off the path. You still want to go to the same place, but you went off the path and it's recalculating. So August 1st, I want you to give yourself an opportunity to recalculate, readjust, and recenter yourself to get that path. What do I need to do to accomplish my goals? Be a great time to take your 2020 goal sheet and reevaluate. And I always do this around that August 1st. It is a fire holiday. It is in the middle of Leo season. It is, that driving force of what do I have to do to light myself up to get where I really want to go. So moving that chariot along on that hero's journey, we've learned a lot, we've mastered a lot. Where do we want to go? And for a lot of people, this is like the beginning of the school year. So it is almost like you're closing and completing as part of the cycle, July and August, and starting into that next drive, that next push forward. And as you do that, I want you to think about how can I meet my goals? There's going to be in September, there's going to be that fall equinox. And for me, that is the day of how do I get my stuff done by that 21st or 22nd of September. So you have 9/2/2022. So that is what do I need to have wrapped up? I love the fall equinox. For me, that is the Thanksgiving. So that's when I start thinking about how far have I come in life? How far do I want to take this wheel of the year before the end of the year? And what am I grateful for? Manifesting in gratitude and moving forward fearlessly. It's like, to me, it's the final push of letting go of any burning down, letting go of any last fear or illusion of the darkness as we come back into the dark season. I never want to be afraid of the darkness. I want to be the light, destabilizing anything in my own life or in the cosmic consciousness. I want to be the light that brings forward my own personal joys and bliss. And so this is where you want to connect deeply as we go into this last push for the year and start yet another second time of the year. We'll have another set of eclipses. And so we'll have the Scorpio eclipse cycle right at the Halloween season, right at that, October, November. We will have the Scorpio Taurus eclipse season in full, we'll have a full Monty of energy for transformation right at the end of the year. So it's kind of like we'll have one last chance to be like, recalibrate before the end of the year. Because, like I said, this is, I can say no more than put your seatbelts on for 2022. Walk cautiously, but I want you to walk. Have you ever walked into some place and you knew that there was something really important happening and you just needed to be on your game and you needed to be the best that you could ever be? It's kind of like if I were your pep talk, your coach going into the season of 2022, here is your pep talk, which is, if you ever wanted to be the best you could ever be, this is the time. This is what you've been preparing for. This is the ascension that you came here to be on earth for, right here, right now. And if you want to make yourself the most divine being of light and remember who you are, activated in that divine light, this is the time to do it. This is where you get to be the teacher, the student, the activated, the activator. You get to be the guide. You get to be the illumination in the darkness. You get to hold your own. And you have to be unshakable. And I will say you get to be unshakable. You have the opportunity to be the change you've always wanted to see in the world. Be that. So as you're in the end of 2022 and the month of 12, when you're in December, you bring that 2 back into the energy. So you have that 1, 2, 2022. So that whole month, you'll have that energy of 9 in the completion cycle of 2022. That whole month will be a 9-month energetically, adding the date of that year. So like on the 2nd of December, it'll be an 11, a transformation day. The 20th of December will be another transformation day. So really think about, who am I going to be? And I just want you, as we're here, to think about, who do I get to be? What do I choose to be? What is the vibration I want to hold? And lay down any fear of that. So as you're on the hero's journey, this is your mastery. This is my invitation to you to master your joy, to master your bliss, to master your peace. Because peace and love and joy and bliss, anything love and above, is going to hold you in a frequency of the eye of the storm. I'm not saying that 2022 isn't going to have chaos. In fact, I am predicting that there will be chaos. But what I'm telling you is that you get to master your own action and reaction. You get to be the joy. You get to be the light. You get to be the destabilizer of the negative, and you get to hold the frequency of the grid of light on earth right now. And in so many years, as we look back at this time, we will say this was the change. This was the beginning of the age of Aquarius. This was that place where we created the world we want to live in. So right here, right now, you have an opportunity to master your journey and to hold who you want to be so strong in your heart, from the place of heart cohesion, from the feeling of who you are, not a label, not something you have to forgive, but truly know in your heart you are love, you are one with everything, and therefore you make a difference in the world.